Yeah. I'll just give one more as people. So we just had an opening ceremony and all the.
I joined. It was really good.
Oh, you joined? Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
I was at Jonathan's intro to CS. I never even heard of Scratch, so I might poke around with that. I'm learning. I'm learning.
Oh, hey, I think I think
Getting
Jonathan.
out of this as well. So
Yeah, Jonathan, we should also make sure that when Randy is there, we should make sure that we do a good version of ourselves. I didn't know you were there. I was just wondering how come you know the t-shirts. Maybe you joined.
yeah, no, yeah. No, I love doing these things. So I just I
Okay,
a lot of experience. Just seeing how different, different prompts and challenges and the way they're organized. I learn a lot too. So, and
great.
since we're doing this virtually, this is very unique. We're all doing
Yes.
a lot of. And Suresh,
Yeah.
I recently did a virtual deep racer event, so that was kind of interesting. Uh,
Oh,
the rest, so just trying to learn how people are receptive, different patterns versus in-person type events. So, yeah,
yeah. I really don't know. I'm sure you're going to learn a lot. The one thing, just to give full disclosure, right? I think Jonathan, we are recording this one. I hope there's no. You have any problems, or we're not. Is it okay? We're not doing any IPs here, right, Randy?
no, yeah, no. So this is how to build a chatbot. Some of the general concepts to ground you in the concept of what we're going to do today, but nothing
Hmm.
secret sauce. Everything available. I think that's the theme, right? Super, available, and nothing crazy that anyone can't get started. So that was the whole premise that I wanted to stick with. So I'm not doing anything proprietary. Super simple.
Okay.
Still
Yeah, we are. Yeah, the
like
reason I asked the question is we are recording and posting in the Hack Trees channel.
okay.
So anyway, I think we have around 10 participants. I think we there's a lot of competition. There's multiple. There's another workshop also happening, but this is great because we have a lot of workshops till like 6 o'clock. So anyway, that's good. I think we should get started.
All right.
You want to get brief introduction of yourself and then go.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Randy Moy. I'm a senior technical account manager for AWS out of Boston. So also part of the team that Suresh is on. And being a technical account manager, comprised of many different skill sets. I think Suresh can cover that as well. In our team in Boston, everyone comes from all types of backgrounds, whether super technical, software development, systems engineering, systems management, technical sales, consulting. So for me, leading up into my role at Amazon, I started off as a software engineer. I was a Java developer way back when. I did that for a couple of years. I was okay at it, but still did a good job. But along the way, working with some of my colleagues and mentors who identified specific skill sets I had, and kind of pivoted in the course of my career. So from a senior software developer, I became a global business consultant. Working on large-scale projects across the globe for implementation of highly complex commercial off-the-shelf solutions. Working in tandem with business management consultants. I did that for a number of years. I had to live in Beijing for a year and 6 months in Shanghai through that work. And then again, very quickly, saw another challenge. I was in technical sales as a solutions architect for many different years at IBM. So that kind of gave me the impetus of being in a truly customer-facing role, giving presentations. Really found my momentum there and what I like to do, but still keeping an eye on being super technical. And then through that, working at IBM, I started. When we came out with the Watson technology, that's when I really started to dive deep into machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, natural language understanding, things of that nature. And then, I want to say this was like 2016, 2017. Watson had something called the conversational services. So it was very nascent days of chat ops and chatbots, but I got started in that. And then, fast forward a few more years, I stopped over here at Amazon Web Services and being a technical account manager, working with our customers to help them realize their success in the cloud, a number of different services. and then, again, sharpening up my other skill sets that I wasn't able to develop in my time as being a consultant or solutions architect. So over the past couple of years, really sharpened my cloud skills, so to speak. And then along the way, started to dive deeper into Amazon machine learning technology. So in addition to being a senior technical account manager, I'm also part of the Deep Racer evangelist team out of Boston. We deliver many different Deep Racer events. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Deep Racer. It is a service on AWS that you can covers reinforcement learning to teach a car how to drive around the track autonomously, autonomous racing, object detection, head-to-head matchups. So really focused on that over the past year, and then really continuing on with my chatbot interests. So happy to be here. And there's many different, as you know, with AI ML. We recently released a service called Deep Composer, where it's generative AI, where you teach the AI a number of different music notes and rhythms, and then the AI will learn and then try to generate something that's almost similar and even something brand new. So that's some forward-looking projects that I am interested in. In addition, I'm also going to join the Echo AR later, so I hope you guys are very excited for that. So that's something I'm also interested in with spatial computing and augmented reality. So do encourage those who are interested in kind of frontier technologies to check that out. But without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to share my entire screen. Cool. All right. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All righty. All right, guys. Yeah, so super excited to present, this workshop. We kind of titled it Conversation Stories because we purely talk about chatbots and all the technical things and get real boring real fast. But Conversation Stories, Lex, Alexa, and beyond. Okay, before we get started, I know I touched upon some things with AWS, but again, what do our customers want to do with AWS? They want to build, they want to move fast, they want to stay secure. So again, the reason why I want to start off with this because we're going to go through some of the supporting information of what is driving the chatbot today, but also underneath all that is AWS services where our customers and users are able to build, taking a number of different services and combining them in very different ways, but all the building blocks are there within AWS by having a number of different services that can be combined and used in any number of ways and combinations. You're able to move very fast, very quickly. And then, the overarching theme of everything is stay secure. I know, the best quote I know is our CTO, Werner Vogels, is, I think, build like no one's watching, but, secure like everything because someone is. So, just wanted to ground you in that foundation. So, okay, what is a chatbot? So chatbot is just the next iteration of conversational interactions facilitated by machines. So if we go way back in the first generation of, the first type of machines facilitating conversations between humans or even human interactions with a machine, you can think of when we get started with the telegraph, right? So the telegraph was the first iteration of having messages sent across the wire over many distances across the country. Even humans were then able to communicate in almost in real time. Before that, it was the Pony Express, mail, et cetera. But again, I think here as we progress through this, with each next generation, we're not replacing what was done before. We're simply building on top and extending the use case. So again, telegraph was invented and used. However, mail hasn't still been eliminated. We still use the mail system. It's just we're adding on to the number of different things that we can communicate between each other in terms of messaging and conversation. Part of that first generation, the next iteration of that would be the telephone system, where we would have, telephone operators at one end in central switching stations, kind of patching you over to the next for long distance phone conversations between, your family members, friends, and business partners. Again, so with that first generation, there were some challenge with that the speed of communications, or even a number of different machines or heavyweight machines facilitating those conversations. So again, as we segue into the second generation of conversational interactions, we have control-oriented and translated type interfaces. The first easiest use case would be the advent of email. Again, this was the first instance of really communicating with one another through a vast interconnected network. And as we evolve the email systems, I think everyone is aware that we're using the Slack solution, the Slack messaging platform, to interact and communicate throughout this hackathon. So again, Slack hasn't replaced emails. It simply supplements or enhances that interaction and facilitated by machines. In addition to that, I think on our phones, we're all aware of messaging apps. Again, Slack could be one of them. Signal, Telegram, what else? Facebook Messenger, you name it, Snapchat, all the rest. So again, this is still part of that second generation of control-oriented interactions between one another through machines. And then somewhere around 2015, 16, as the curve for AI machine learning kind of rose up, the advent of natural language processing and natural language understanding, NLU, kind of surfaced up, and the technology enabled some of these solutions to come to fore. We're now we did start around 15, 16, but now we're kind of, in the early middle innings of this third generation of intent-oriented conversational interfaces and interactions. So when I say intent-oriented, again, you are aware of instant messaging platforms where the machine is in the middle, facilitating in the interactions between one another. But in this third generation, we're actually making the machine smarter, where they could be the first pass before handing it over. So again, think of anything that you guys all interact with, whether it's your banking application or customer support. The first pass is always some chat application saying, "Hey, how can I help you?" And really, that is just to say we're going to collect and capture what the customer is requesting to perform an action. So an easy way to think of this in context of this third generation would be, before that, the advent of intent-based interactions, you would call up a file based on a project you're working on. So again, you have to log into some system, you have to launch your word processing, and then based in that application, you have to remember what project folder and the file name, and then you start the work. So again, that's more than a number of different steps to arrive at your document to begin your work. With this intent-based interfaces, we can easily say, "Hey, Chatbot, I'm working on project X. Hey, can you find this file under that project and call that up to me in the Word application?" So again, you can easily say that in a sentence or two, and you're ready to roll. So think of this your third generation in this particular use case. And here's a neat quote from Gartner back in 2019. By 2022, 70% of knowledge workers will interact with conversational platforms on a daily basis. I think this probably proves this more than accurate. If not, I think even here in 2020, we're at 70% of most knowledge workers interacting in some, form or fashion of a conversational platform. And again, with the theme of this hackathon, COVID-19 has really accelerated business companies and businesses to really look at where they can enhance or streamline their operations. So, a number of different folks cannot be in the call center, in an in-face setting. So, how do you still provide, that level of customer service with depleted workforce? So, I know interacting with my bank or insurance company, I start off with a chatbot. there's various opinions on that, but at the end of the day, most companies are trying to meet where the customers are at and to maintain that level of customer service. And very quickly, I don't want to belabor the point, but this is just some business values of chatbots. I think I described in very quickly what it is, but I don't want to read from this list. But this is just some context. But again, when I mentioned folks have various opinions on a depleted workforce and introducing a chatbot or even bots in this case to augment human labor. It's not really the case. From what I've seen with companies, rolling out chatbots, it's actually to enhance and help the existing staff leverage existing internal data assets. So think of alleviating a person from answering a phone call and answering the same questions over and over again, when the chatbot can capture all those things and then route those to the different subject matter experts, where then if you are in a payment system or your subject matter is medical records, et cetera, your job can be enhanced without the day-to-day stuff of answering the phone, where the chatbot can capture those upfront and route you, so you're better able to focus on your domain expertise. So that's the camp that I live in, and hopefully you guys can see the value in introducing chatbots to augment what's possible with your workforce. Okay, Amazon Lex. So I mentioned just the upfront background of chatbots and how we arrived. Amazon Lex. So Amazon Lex is our kind of chatbot service within AWS, and if you are interpreting the service, so Amazon Lex puts the Lex in Alexa. So if you think of Alexa, the underlying technology in terms of interpreting what we're going to talk about, the anatomy of a conversation in the next slide, but all the stuff that you can do in Lex can easily be ported into an Alexa skill. So I think this is a very exciting service. So we're going to go through this chart right here. Highly scalable. It's an AWS. You can integrate business logic in your chatbots. So again, you can build the very rudimentary kind of upfront, hey, I'm a chatbot, how can I help you? But then you can capture those details and extend that into other business systems, pull that information back. Again, you can easily think of an online ordering system through a chatbot. You can say, hey, do you have whatever it is you're looking for, let's say paper towels. The chatbot can then interact with an inventory management system to check how many availability of your paper towels, and then return that query back into the chat interface and say, hey, you're in luck, there's a whole pallet left, would you like me to order that? Things of that nature. Highly secure. Again, one of the requirements of any AWS service is highly secure, data encrypted in transit and at rest. And as you work within your chatbot, we are capturing and monitoring a whole host of data points. So that can provide, the more data you have, the more enhanced analytics that you can surface from your usage of your chatbots. Again, part of Lex is text to speech. So again, I know this is highlighting Amazon Polly, and we'll get into that too. So Alexa is also built on top of a service called Amazon Polly, where it's a service where you can generate speech from text. So Amazon Lex also integrates with that service. And dialogue management. So how can we improve? So you're definitely going to create version 1 of your chatbot, but as users interact with it, you will find, surface through your analytics, what are the things it's falling down on? Can it interpret misspellings or colloquial terms, things of that nature? So as you have captured that details, maybe the chatbot isn't smart enough to understand a regional type of thing. So I know, being from Chicago, we kind of like to order pop, but here it's soda. So let's say you're interacting with a chatbot and you want to order a large pop. Like, what does that mean to someone here in New England? I don't know. And for an engineer to program the first generation of your chatbot, you may not have considered that, folks out in the Midwest call soda pop. But then through your monitoring and analytics, you're like, well, why is it falling flat every time someone's requesting pop? But then I'm looking further deeper in the regions. A lot of these requests are coming in from anywhere from Indiana, Michigan, Ohio to Illinois. I'm like, oh, okay. So then you do some research and then you integrate that back into improve your chatbot. So again, along the themes of use cases, I know I quickly touched upon that, but I think I quickly talked about call centers where you want the chatbots to capture certain very specific repetitive details of any customer interaction in order to route that to a subject matter expert or a person responsible for that business process. Informational bots, again, you go to a museum, if you've been in a museum, you have one of those handheld things. A bot can help you answer questions with the exhibit you're working on. Think of that use case. Application bots, that's something we're going to focus on today. We're going to build a bot that can solicit feedback from the user to capture order details and then send it for fulfillment. In enterprise productivity bots, again, I think I quickly touched upon that where you're interacting with finance, right? But it's a small finance team and you're a salesperson and you kind of just want last quarter's sales data. But then you wouldn't want to staff that with a full-time person. That would be boring for that one person to then capture the same question over and over again, and then forwarding quarterly reports or annual reports. You may want to have that one responsibility with a chatbot. Next, Internet of Things, wearables, appliances. You can definitely think of like an Alexa Echo, an Echo Show, an Echo Dot. A Google Home Assistant is part of an Internet of Thing product. So we're going to touch upon that in our workshop. Okay. So again, anatomy of a conversation. So to the left here, you will see kind of just this kind of end-to-end interaction between the user, whether you're typing or speaking or interacting with the chatbot. It goes into the bot. The bot itself, is driven by a natural language understanding, AI or a machine language process to interpret text to speech, speech to text. So again, you could easily call into a bot. The chatbot itself could interpret your speech to text. So it could, with the NLU processing unit, could take your speech and transcribe that into text. And Amazon AWS does have a service for that, and we'll touch upon that if we have time after our demo. And again, it's a whole loop. It collects all that and it processes. If you look down here with the cards, you can easily say sometimes, reply back to you in a text, but then what if you need feature-rich information? So again, think of like, either a Google Home Assistant with the screen or an Echo Show. You can then, ask Alexa something, it interpret your speech into a text, and it goes through all the different steps to understand what you actually want and process for fulfillment, and then present you a rich kind of information on the screen. It could be, that's where you see the cards, very rich. It could be HTML, highly interactive, or reply back through the speaker technologies. So the right here, we're going to get into when we built the actual chatbot. So think of utterances. Utterances are a reference to anything the user says. So again, it could be, hey, I'd like to order a drink, or I need to book a hotel room, I need to book a rental car. So that's an utterance, right? But in terms of utterances, you build it out, you're not gonna, you can anticipate it to a point, but humans are so unpredictable. You could have one person say, give me a Coke. But if you program your chatbot to utterance to really understand, I need to order a Coke, it may not interpret, give me a Coke means the same thing. So utterance is very important in terms of building out your conversational interface. So you can anticipate, a whole menu of options, but then once it's in the wild, you don't know how, your customers are interact in terms of utterances. But as you saw earlier in the presentation, we have, the service itself or any different type of chatbot solutions will give you the ability to analyze your logging to see, where it needs improvement, where it failed, where it missed the mark. And then as you interpret, through analytics and surface some of the challenges your chatbot was facing, you can then bake that in to enhance your utterances. So version 2, you can interpret "give me a Coke" or "give me a hotel room" means the same thing. And then once you kind of streamline or improve your utterance or enhance your repository of utterances, you're then forward that into intents. So intents itself refers to the thing your user or customer wants to accomplish. So an intent here would be, I would like to order XYZ product. XYZ product would be, whether it's flowers, food, pizza, tickets, booking a hotel room, et cetera, et cetera. So that's an intent. So part of within that intent is something called entities. So you want to order something. So an entity would be that something, whether it's flowers, but then flowers, what does that mean? Are they roses? Are they this? Are they that? Or I'd like to order a drink, but what does that mean? Is it a coffee? Is it a slushie? Or is it a soda? Or is it a cocktail? But then is it alcoholic? Or is it a mocktail? So all these get into what your entities are. So that's known as an entity. But in our world of Amazon Lex, we quote unquote store these entities known as slots. So in the next slot, just to give you some context of the anatomy of a conversation, Amazon Lex conversation flow. So think of it as this. That's your intent. The intent itself is this quote unquote chatbot is to facilitate in booking a hotel room, and that was for the inputs. Utterances. So again, when I mentioned, it could be any number of different things. So when you first program your chatbot, it could be, I'd like to book a hotel room. But again, you don't know what customers are going to say. They may say, I want a hotel room, but is that the same as booking, or give me a hotel room? What does that really mean? So again, your utterances is where your NLU and your machine learning algorithms will have to get smarter, but it can only get smarter if you collect all that data. So don't be afraid that your first iteration of your chatbot may not capture all the different utterances of your user base or your customer base. So keep that in mind. Slots. So again, in the world of Amazon Lex, we store entities in slots. But again, slots and entities are interchangeable. I know in my previous life of working with the Watson conversational service, we called those entities. But again, they can be interchangeable, or they could be different. So do understand what the solution that you're using and why they're calling it that. But in all intents and purposes, they kind of sort of mean the same thing. Fulfillment. So you're collecting, so your intent is interpreting the utterances to perform an action. In order to perform an action, you're collecting the entities to be stored in a slot. And once all those slots are filled, the chatbot will have enough information to take it back and process in order to fulfill that request and present that back to your customer or your user. So I know I talked a lot, and I definitely don't want to bore you because slides are boring, and I also stick to that particular ethos as well. So we're definitely going to get into the fun of today's workshop. So what I've kind of thought about for this workshop is to build a chatbot in 10 minutes and an Alexa skill in 5. So I just want to show you, I did claim that Lex puts the Lex in Alexa. So all the things that we're building in a Lex chatbot can be easily exported to be then imported into your Alexa development console to then get started on building that Alexa skill. 2 seconds. Okay. So here, again, you can build conversational bots in any number of different solutions, whether it's Microsoft Azure, GCP, Google Compute Cloud. But again, being an AWS technical account manager, we're going to focus on AWS services. So here, when you log in, this is your AWS Cloud Management Console. But here, we're going to focus on Amazon Lex. And Amazon Lex is part of our machine learning suite. So again, super simple. I know Amazon doesn't want to, inundate you with feature-rich settings. Just kind of what you need to know to get started. So the feature-rich comes within kind of as you're building it out. But getting started, super easy. If you see right here, you click this ginormous create button, and as you learn the service, it'll actually give you samples of kind of what we kind of our perspective on building a chatbot would be. But for today's workshop, we're going to do a custom bot. And what are we going to name the bot? We're going to name it Coffee Bot Express. Here again, so again, this service is integrated with Polly. Polly's a, text-to-speech service.
Hello, my name is Sally.
So again, Polly comes with a whole menu of different voices. And since I told you Alexa is also built, kind of integrated with the Polly service, but the Alexa voice is actually a proprietary voice that isn't available in Polly. It's kind of on brand for the Alexa and Amazon. So you won't be able to choose the Alexa voice, but you'll see that when we build out the Alexa skill. Session timeout. We'll probably give it 5 minutes. This is kind of the maximum time that, if you're in a chat dialogue, before it times out to start over again. So we'll give it 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. Sentiment analysis. So again, if we have time later, I have some content in terms of how do you interpret, how your customers are interacting with the bot. Are they being negative? Or are they being aggressive? Or are they being pleasant? So we have a service called Amazon Comprehend that does sentiment analysis, part of, again, the natural language understanding machine learning algorithm. So I say yes. So I'm going to show you what that really means as we step through our chatbot. I'm assigning an IAM role. This is pretty much security. As I mentioned, all AWS services are inherent with our security framework. So we definitely want to specify that it is authorized to perform different actions within my Amazon Web Services account. Again, this solution I'm building out will not be, subject to children. I mean, again, there's a whole law around that, but this is super simple, so no. Tagging, I think it's best practice to tag because you may forget why you did this or something like that. So you can say project at 3. So what am I doing here? So, always get in the habit of tagging your projects. You never know. You may start on something, you forget about it 2 years from now, but then you participate in another hackathon. You built some component years ago, and you're like, I can't find it. But if you tag it, you can easily retrieve it. Okay, and that's it. So we just created the framework of what our bot would be. So tying back, we named our bot, and now we have our bot interface. So what do we need to do now? So first, we need to create an intent. So what is the intention of our users when they interact with our bot? So here, we're ordering a coffee. Okay, so that's our intent. Intent is ordering a coffee. Again, so now that's intent. So the utterances, how do we prompt, how does the bot prompt when it receives something? So just think of, can I order something? Whatever, right? May I order? Again, so I'm starting with 3 things. Other users or a customer base may approach it differently, and it may fall flat in its face, but we'll kind of know where it missed the mark, and we can improve and enhance our chatbot by including that as we kind of work through, once it's out in the wild. But we'll get started with just these 3 for now. So before I make any change, I just want to save this intent. So I have these sample utterances. So I have these 3 utterances. So, okay, so I'm uttering something, what happened? So the bot needs to be smart enough to try to, understand, the intent for capturing the entities. So what are the type of entities here? Well, definitely, if we're gonna create a coffee bot, we definitely want to do coffee type. So types of coffee, could be regular coffee. If you see here, it's a synonym, so it could be just coffee. So we have those 2. It could be a latte, okay, or a mocha. Okay. I think that's how you spell cappuccino. Don't quote me. Okay. Okay, so cappuccino and espresso. Okay, cool. So we have a coffee type now. So that's an entity. So we're going to name this entity a slot name. The slot name, again, I'm just going to keep it super easy. Coffee type. And so when a user has an utterance, says, can I order something? Sorry. It's going to be prompted. Hi, you know, welcome to the Coffee Bot Express. We offer coffee, latte, mocha. Would you like? Okay, cool. I'll save that one in 10. So now we capture that. So again, everyone's ordered a coffee, so it's not just a coffee. What else do we want? Okay, so coffee temperature. We want our bot to be able to offer not just the type of coffee, but we can say, iced. We offer iced coffee, hot. I don't know, frappe. Okay, so the three things we can enhance here. We'll name this coffee temp. Or frappade. Okay, cool. So now we have coffee temp. So again, it's much more than that, right? Just think of your experience at a coffee shop. So now that we have either what type of coffee, ice or whatever, so we can go size. Description can be anything. I'm just being easy right now. Small, medium, large. Okay. Coffee sized. Large. Okay. Now we have the basic building blocks, but it's much more than that, right? So we have size, temp, type, but then what's, this is a very controversial topic, but like creamer type. We're all unique here, and I think everyone has their stake in the ground, whether it's cream, 2%, skim, whole, and then it's gonna get crazy now. There's cashew milk now. There's almond milk. There's oat milk. Oh gosh, and then there's the standby soy milk. So you can definitely see we're adding all these options for our customers to consider. And again, if it's not on this list, we can easily understand where the bot, kind of falls flat in its face, and we can enhance. Or it could be a way we can enhance our product set. We're just not offering that, but like based on regional preferences, we don't have, I don't know, cashew. I just learned about cashew milk, and that's why I put it in. So let's say 2 weeks ago, I may not have considered cashew milk, but again, through my learning ability, I have the ability now to enhance the initial product launch with cashew milk in our offering. Oh, whoops. Guess I already tried that already. Okay, cool. Creamer. You know, 2% skim, whole, cashew, soy. Milk. And I know it's a coffee bot. We could definitely enhance this bot, but like I'm also a bubble tea enthusiast as well. But we just don't have time for that. So, okay, next. Actually, I don't want to make a custom slot, but we have kind of the basic kind of ordering framework of how we want our bot to fulfill that order. So, one of the things we can do now is count. And Amazon actually has a whole number of default ones where we actually don't have to reinvent the wheel here. So I just want to ask how do I want with that order. So I'm definitely going to look for something called numerical number. How many? Okay, and then name customer. And again, we don't have to do a custom. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We go down here and we'll just use the first name. Okay, so we're going to capture that and we're going to make this required. So, if I'm looking at this, it's going to ask for type, size, temperature, creamer, how many, and the name for the order. Okay, cool. And then again, with any bot, we want to confirm this. So, thank you for your order. Have, type, temp, size, width, and then let's say the person says no, okay, I won't make your order. Okay, cool. Oh, okay, I've got this. See, I have. Okay. Save this intent. So I think I have the basic building blocks. So again, another example, let's say your customer who's a return customer who doesn't want to get prompted just once, knows exactly what they want. Let me have. So we can also take the slot and include this into our utterance. So, so if you have this in your utterance, it wouldn't even prompt it for welcome. It already knows. So just to kind of build that in for your chatbot. Built this guy. Oh, whoops. Oh man. Creamer type. Did I? Did I have a creamer type? Oh. Bot. Oh man. Okay. I'll just choose. I guess I already have one. I'll just use it. Okay. 1 second. Oh. Duh. Get rid of it. Okay, so I don't want to, in respects to time, let's forget that. I already pre-baked this for you. In any event, we'll just rebuild this. It's pretty much the same thing, kind of, sort of. As this is, again, you saw it's going to check some of your intents. So I could be like, hi. It doesn't know what. Okay, we saw that. Welcome to Coffee by Express. 5 options. I'd like a latte. Iced. Make that large. Cashew. How many? 3. Name for your order, Randy. Okay, so it's responding. Thank you for your order. I have 3. Is this correct? And I say yes. You got it, coming right up. All right, cool, right? And then we're ready to publish. Publish this. So that's basically your chatbot, but then we're going to take this and extend this to build an Alexa skill. Doo-doo-doo. Awesome. I totally forgot also to show you this as well. So again, I know we're seeing this in more of a WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, but if you look down at inspect response, you will see kind of the response of your slots, but details, again, this is in JSON format. So if you think about extending this, you could easily forward this request into an upstream or downstream system for further processing, enhancements. You can forward this again to an actual bot to make your coffee because we have the variables, or it could print out a receipt to your barista. So I could say I'd like a coffee. You see that, but then in summary, you can see all my slots and variables are being filled in right now. So I want it iced. It's being filled in. Small. Milk. 2. Okay, so if you see here, again, all the slots are being filled in, so it's storing those entities in slots. But if you look at the JSON response, you can easily push this into another system that could print this out as a receipt for the barista, again, as I said, or an actual robot will say, hey, I got all these slots, I'm gonna get started on building it. So again, very easy way of thinking about how a chatbot can really enhance a storefront, a business process, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so I go here in my coffee chat. I want to export this, version 8. And I want this export to be in the format for an Alexa skills kit. So I'm going to export this guy. Save this. Okay. All right, cool. Explode this archive. Okay, so I have that right here. I'm going to go to my Alexa Skills Console. Okay, so again, Alexa developer account is free. You can easily go to developer.amazon.com and create your Alexa development account. But let me log in. Okay. CoffeeBot Express. We want this custom. Provision your own. Again, super simple, but you can easily have this kind of in Python for further enhancements or Node.js, but super simple for today. I'm going to create this skill. Hello world doesn't matter to me. Choose. Because again, we already exported what we wanted in terms of our Lex bot and intents. We're going to take that JSON file and put it into the Alexa skill. So again, invocation. How do we get our Echo Dot or Echo Show to, call up our Coffee Bot Express? So we can go Coffee Bot Express. So it'd be like Alexa, start Coffee Bot Express. That's kind of the invocation name. Okay, cool. Then we're going to go to intent. There's a lot of these right here, but forget that right now. We're going to revisit this, but let's go to the JSON editor. We definitely don't really need this hello world example because we have our own. We're just going to take this JSON file and put it in here. I'm going to save our model. Okay, cool. Go to our intents. See here, pretty cool, right? So everything that we did in Lex is easily in our Alexa skill now. So we're ready to rock. One of the things we do need to add, so my build doesn't fail, there's a number of different default Alexa intents that are required. So stop, help, cancel, okay, save my model, build my model. And these are just warnings because I didn't put default values in those slots. Again, we're going to capture those in the user interaction. If it'll fail, it'll be a bright red, alert saying I failed, but hopefully it's going to go through. I did practice before doing this workshop with you guys. So hopefully all things are very well organized for you. Okay, cool. So quick build. I want to see full build. Getting there is kind of making sure the utterances are not in conflict. All right. So we go to test. Allow. Development. Okay, cool. So let's check this out now. Alexa, start Coffee Bot Express.
Launch request.
Can I order something?
Okay, what type of coffee?
Let's say a latte.
Would you like that hot, iced, or frapped?
Iced.
What size would you like your latte? We have small, medium, and large.
Large.
What type of creamer would you like in your order? We have 2%, whole milk, skim milk, soy milk, oat milk, almond milk, cashew milk, and cream.
Cashew.
How many?
3.
Can I have a name for your order?
Randy.
Thank you for your order. I have 3 iced latte with cashew for Randy. Is this correct?
Yes. Yes.
Intent, order coffee. Locale, NUS. Slots, temp coffee, iced. Size coffee, large. Type of coffee, latte. Customer name, Randy. Creamer type, cashew milk canonical cashew. Count coffee, 3. Confirmation status, confirmed.
Okay, so what you saw there, I mean, I shouldn't have had Alexa read that out, but again, very similar to Lex, all the stuff that we're capturing are then stored in a JSON, and then the request and response are in JSON format. So again, you can forward that to another system. So what this really confirmation is doing, so if you're building a voice interface, you kind of want this information to be forwarded on to the next process. This could then prompt, back of the house, system to display. Again, I also mentioned print out a receipt for the barista. So again, think of this skill as an Alexa. This could forward into, let's say, your coffee shop. So your coffee shop was looking for this hook that your voice interface would forward. So hopefully that gives you a preview of what's possible with not just a chatbot, but also an Alexa skill. So again, guys, I'm so glad I made it at the top of the hour. I didn't want to run in. We're going very, very close. And in closing, I had a whole bunch of other stuff, but I definitely glad I made it through the actual demo. But again, as you can see, you can do so much with natural language processing, machine learning of this type of information. So hopefully this gives you some idea of where to formulate your solutions in your hack. I know there's a number of different prompts and challenges for today's hackathon. So I just hope this was helpful and insightful, and anyone can have fun with getting started with chatbots. And I'm excited to see what everyone is going to build later on.
Thanks, Andy. One more thing. I think I was just thinking through. This was awesome, right? We can relate to this. More importantly, who knows, with social distancing, we may be only ordering through Alexa, right? Like technically, we should, every shop, instead of pre-ordering, you go near the store and then talk to Alexa, and then order your coffee, because Alexas don't get COVID.
And think about that. It could be a number of different things that, for all the folks here, how can you enhance the experience of folks who are homebound? How do we reproduce interactions in an automated way? Things of that nature. So it's not just a chatbot for the sake of chatbot, but again, you can tie in, hey, accessibility, right? Someone can type something in, they don't have to call, let's say someone, whatever, can't get to something. A chatbot could facilitate that. So again, super excited to see what everyone's going to build.
Okay. Thanks, Randy. I know it's almost 2 minutes. Anyone has any questions?
I was very sweating that I wasn't going to make the hour, but I'm glad.
You made it, Randy. Thank you. Awesome.
All right.
Hold on. Just if anyone wants to have a question, you want to type in the chat window through the Google chat window? We have 2 minutes before we go to the next workshop.
Oh, actually, before I go, for the folks, in high school or college, we have something called AWS Educate. To get started, you can create a free account. I know last summer I did a whole multi-month hackathon with an organization called Youth Entrepreneurs in the Midwest, kind of serving underserved communities, and kind of got them working on ideas. And then we had a Shark Tank style kind of final, and then there were business representatives to invest in ideas. And one of the things we helped the students with was getting started in an AWS Educate account, and then they built a lot of cool stuff and presented in to help them reach Shark Tank glory. So for those who are interested in that, poke around in that. And also what I showed you today, here you go, developer.amazon.com. That will get you to your Alexa developer account. So if you're interested, try doing that. And that's all I have for now. So glad to receive the invite. I thought this was fun. I hope everyone learned something.
Definitely. Any questions for anyone? We are top of the hour, but we can take 1 or 2 questions. Looks like.
Oh man, I bored them to death.
No, I think they're probably assimilating many things, and they're thinking about the next project, maybe.
All right. Well, I'm super excited for the Echo AR, so you'll probably be seeing me join that one.
Perfect. Thanks, Randy. Awesome job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I talk to you soon. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Talk to you soon.